I am going to get into a topic that has been stressing me out nonstop this week, and it's getting worse. Pretty much this is an update on how I'm doing since Hurricane Irma, and then a few days ago Mississippi had a Hurricane Nate. And my update is it's a really hard. I might make this a part two. I'm not sure. Just stay for the meantime. But anyways, um, the situation with that. Okay, like I explained my situation of my experience with Hurricane Irma. Well, just a few days ago, I found out information about a church who was donating to all those affected by the hurricane. I don't know who's watching this video, if you even are part of this church or not, and if you are, I'm really sorry. But I just got to vent and got to voice my opinion on this and how I'm ashamed of people and not trying to tear down anybody in any way, but it's just really depressing me and really setting me off. So, pretty much, I went through the Hurricane Irma, and when we came back, we had no power. And that was hard in itself because just a few days ago, when Mississippi experienced their hurricane, people didn't have power a few times, or a few times. People didn't have power, and then they got power that day. And it's kind of upsetting to me because not with just that, but like we went 3 days without it. And I'm not saying people's situation is worse than ours or my situation is worse. I'm just saying my experience, and what is frustrating is the fact that we really didn't get help that we could have. Trying to be careful what I say here. I don't want to sound like I am mean in any way or hate people. But anyways, a few days ago I found out that not only did a church I used to go to was sending donations and raising money, or I shouldn't say money, pretty much a donation to a church here in Florida. And it really upset me. It's not the fact that they send it to a church. It's the fact that pretty much they knew, this one church in Mississippi knew I was living in Missouri, or not Missouri, Florida at the time of the hurricane. Nobody messaged me. And it, to me, I'm not trying to sound like I'm pity partying or complaining. It just hurts when you know you're going through something and nobody's there to support you. Nobody is there to help you and pray for you. And I know a lot of people were praying for me and the people I was with during the hurricane Irma, but we're still recovering from that. And it's just really upsetting because the thing I found out a few days ago really upset me because this church, from the church that I used to go to in Mississippi, gave all the donations supposedly to another church who, on a week's time, I seen, and if anybody has questions, I can say more, but I seen a post from that church in Florida. They already had stuff months prior to the Hurricane Irma. That upset me because it's like we don't have anything. And yet, I'm not trying to sound like I want things or I need food or saying, I'm just saying it's sad because nobody from the church in Mississippi even messaged me. And the only person that used to go to that church in Mississippi was my ex-husband. And it really frustrates me to the core that when we're in need, when we know people are going through something, we should at least reach out to see if they're okay. We should at least reach out and say, hey, are you doing okay? And to me, it's just upsetting because these people I love dearly, a lot of them were my friends. I consider them my friends. I consider them Christ-like Christians who actually genuinely care about people, but then they don't. I'm not saying if I would have messaged them, they would have done something to help. I'm not that type of person just to go out of my way, say, give me food, give me all this. No. But it just shows the true colors of people, that when you're going through a hard time, when you're going through a hurricane, and you literally have to leave, and then you come back, no power for 3 days, then then you barely have any food as it is. But on an average, we barely have any food. It's like you see your house in a neighbor, or you see your friend's neighbor, or anyways, you see your neighbor's house burned to the ground. And yet people in town raise money and they don't help the people that are victim. They help the rich people or send the money and stuff to a church. I'm not saying a church needs help, but it just frustrates me how people are forgotten. And I'm going to do another video on continuation of this because it needs to be heard. I went through enough with drama people after the hurricane, but to have own people I went to church with, hanged out with, friends who I associated with, and, they don't care to message. But my ex, who was a narcissist, he messaged to see if I'm okay during the hurricane. It's disgusting to me. It's revolting to me. And it loses, I'm not saying you should depend on people, but it loses my faith in some people when I thought they were friends, when I thought they were there. And I'm going to close the video now, and then I'm going to make another video on part 2 of the crazy and how we forget people. So, continue.